forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Wednesday night and very calm conditions out there. Pretty nice night. We had some rain out to the west earlier. If you talked to us and saw us at 5 and 6, we were showing you those storms, and we said they were going to fall apart. That's exactly what occurred here. Tonight, we're going to keep things nice and calm. We're going to see temperatures in the mid-60s for most of tonight, falling down to the low 60s for the kids on the way to school in the morning. Not a bad school forecast. We'll grade it an A- on the way to school. On the way home, 84 degrees, a little warmer. We'll talk about quite a bit of rain for the weekend. It's in the forecast coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
2 previous times I had actually become very ill.
But it wasn't because of a virus. How one man's mishap with his medication could change the medical industry. Education costs a lot, and one report says a lot of that money is going to school administration. Why some say the numbers aren't telling the whole story.
The blue-green algae actually can release some toxins.
But one city may have a way to fight it, and it involves going high-tech.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
But I needed medical attention.
Medication is supposed to help our health, but it put this man's health in jeopardy, and he's not the only one. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Paul is off tonight. A U of I professor's scary experience with prescription medication inspired him to prescribe a solution to what he says is a widespread problem. His business is now making strides on the international level. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is with us now. So Emily, what big discovery did his company just make?
Well, Jessica, his company Valishore did testing on a drug we know as Zantac. They found a cancer-causing contaminant in it during routine testing. So they filed a petition with the FDA to recall Zantac and its generics from shelves and eventually ban it altogether. Now he says he hopes his company can continue keeping people and the medicines they take safe. Adam Clark Joseph is a professor at the University of Illinois. He teaches finance, but his hobby is chemistry. And like many of us, he takes medication. He learned 3 times over you can't always trust what's printed on the bottle.
The 2 previous times I had actually become very ill, like enough that I needed medical attention.
The 3rd time, he was underdosed and he caught it right away. So, given his hobby, he decided to dig just a little deeper.
It was actually so easy, comparatively easy to check.
That was the last straw, and the rest is history. He helped start a company called Valishore, an online pharmacy. And the FDA has even said, unlike all other pharmacies who mostly look at the drugs just from the outside,
we go further. We kind of check the inside with a variety of chemical analyses.
That way, what you expect is what you get. Clark Joseph said since he started this business, he's heard of many others with stories similar to his and to Frank Thomas.
The pharmacist said, I can't give you this medication. And I got huffy and said, well, why not? You know, I've been getting this for quite some time. She said they've doubled the dosage and it would be very dangerous to you.
As far as who Clark Joseph thinks there is to blame,
I don't think that there's any deliberate malicious intent, but I do think that in the process of cutting costs to maximize profits, the manufacturers cut corners on quality control.
So as he fights to make sure no one else goes through what he or Thomas experienced, he's glad to be able to use his job with geese as another platform.
It's been really wonderful to share those experiences and pass that knowledge on to my students.
Clark Joseph said the FDA only is able to fully test a fraction of medications, and that's for a couple of reasons. He said the FDA tries valiantly, but limited resources are an issue. Also, because 80% of the raw materials for drugs in the United States come from foreign countries. Jessica?
Very interesting. All right, Emily, thank you for that story. New for you tonight, a man is in custody after police say he ran from them and pulled a gun on them. Our media partners at the Herald and Review say police saw 24 34-year-old Jacqueline Gregory running while out on parole. They say he continued after police told him to stop, and they used a stun gun on him. They say Gregory then pointed a revolver at them, so they tased him again. Police say they found drugs in a bag he had, but Gregory denied knowing what was inside it. He also says he ran because he was scared. Retired police officer Tom Butts died last night after waiting years for a kidney. He was with the Decatur Police Department for 29 years. He retired in 2015 to work in courthouse security. We told you last year, Butts thought he had a donor. Turns out she wasn't a match. His former co-worker says what happened has strengthened his own belief in the importance of organ donors.
To know part of them lives on in somebody else and improves their life, and then the people that affects, friends, family, whoever is around that person, is just overwhelming to think about.
The Butts family is thanking everyone for their support, kindness, and their prayers. We have a follow-up on a story out of Farmers City. Blue Ridge teachers and staff members made their intentions clear at tonight's school board meeting: work out a fair deal or prepare for a strike. Dozens walked into the meeting room together to reinforce the message. Pay and turnover are two of their biggest concerns. The union leader gave a statement saying he hopes a new contract will fix those problems. When he finished, he walked out. The crowd followed, and he led a walk around the high school.
The board's not bad people. They have the best interests of the community at heart. They always have. And we're confident that when they understand that this is an important issue, they will work with us to solve those problems.
There are 110 members in the union. Their contract expired in June. The union just organized a strike exploratory committee. Union and board members returned to the bargaining table on Tuesday, the 24th. A new report from a conservative think tank claims Illinois spends more on school administration than other states and gets less in return in the classroom. But when our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell dug into it, we learned there are two glaring errors in that report.
We're spending a lot more on what's called general administration or district level administration.
On the surface, this Illinois Policy Institute study appears to show Illinois spends more on school administration than other states. But the State Board of Education says non-comparable data might be contributing to these results. In other words, Illinois counts classroom safety or insurance costs under the administrative category, when other states don't. Dr. Brent Clark says phony numbers can fuel political spin.
Perception that administrative costs in Illinois are roughly 30% higher than they really actually are.
The think tank uses that comparison to push for a change in state law and form a panel of lawmakers who could move to shut down school districts.
The money we're spending on education is being siphoned away from the classroom where it's really most effective and being, essentially wasted on a bureaucracy that's too big and often duplicative.
It does sound like you're saying that it takes 5 people right now to do the job of maybe 1 person.
Exactly. It's a good way of summing it up.
They've clearly not been in the trenches. You wouldn't say that if you'd actually done those jobs.
In smaller districts, underfunded districts, that principal is also takes over because there's a part-time nurse. They're also the social worker. They're the grant writer. They're the school business official. They're the CFO. They're the accountant. They're the secretary. They're all of those people in that office.
I think you're going to see extraordinary community response to an effort that gives the state the ability to come out and shut down the school district.
In Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Under current state law, parents can organize petition drives to consolidate school districts into larger unit districts. Local elected school boards decide how much principals and administrators get paid. New at 10, every single kindergartner in the Mattoon School District got a book for free thanks to a donation. The Mattoon Rotary Club used a grant of about $2,000 to buy copies of Mo Willems' We Are in a Book. It's about the adventures of an elephant and a pig. The school district says this is going to be a big help.
And at early ages, we're trying to inspire that love of reading, because we find when students and kids at an early age are read to and they like to read, it becomes a lifelong habit. And those lifelong habits develop really literate citizens who are still reading and thinking and developing those critical awareness skills.
The Rotary Club says it plans to make the same donation next year with a different book. Most people don't go out looking to start a rivalry, but that's exactly what one group wants to do. Plus, it's good news that some near One Lake have been waiting to hear.
We went ahead and purchased these units so that we can get in front of it and be ready.
What's being done to clean up toxic algae? And it's Illinois Athletics' version of the question, are we there yet? Is Illinois getting hockey? What AD Josh Whitman had to say.